Close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in. And as you let it out, imagine the night sky above you stretching endlessly, filled with stars that twinkle like silver threads. Feel your body sink deeper into comfort, as if the stars themselves are weaving a blanket of peace around you. Our story tonight begins far away, in a valley where the mountains touch the heavens and the rivers carry whispers of the moon. Here, in a little cottage built of stone and wood, lived a girl named Alara, the daughter of the Star Weaver. The Star Weaver was not just any craftsman. He was said to gather the threads of light that spilled from the constellations, spinning them gently on his loom until they became fabric more radiant than silk. This fabric was not worn, but rather placed in the night sky itself. Each streak of the Milky Way, each shining band of starlight, was believed to be the work of his hands. Alara had grown up listening to the soft rhythm of his shuttle as it passed across the loom. Swish, swish. It went, like the tide of the sea, like the beat of a heart. And though she was only a child, she often imagined herself one day helping him, laying threads of light across the loom, painting the heavens with her own patterns. But there was a secret that the villagers whispered. They said that when the Star Weaver grew weary, one child from his family must take up the loom, or else the sky would grow dim, the stars fading one by one like candles snuffed in the wind. On one moonlit evening, when the air was cool and filled with the scent of pine, Alara wandered into her father's workshop. The loom stood tall, carved from ancient wood, its frame glowing faintly as if starlight had soaked into its very grain. The threads upon it shimmered with colors she had no names for: blue brighter than the deepest sapphire, gold warmer than the midsummer sun, and white so pure it made her heart ache. Her father sat nearby, weary-eyed but smiling. "Alara?" he said gently, his voice low like the hum of a lullaby. "The stars grow restless tonight. Would you like to learn their song?" She nodded eagerly, her small fingers brushing against the glowing threads. The loom hummed softly, as though alive, welcoming her touch. She placed her hands upon the shuttle, and as it moved, she felt a strange warmth bloom in her chest. Each motion spun light across the frame, painting delicate constellations she had only seen from afar. Outside, the villagers looked up and gasped, for new stars appeared in the sky, faint at first, then growing brighter. Patterns of birds, rivers, and trees danced above them, stitched by unseen hands. Alara's heart swelled with joy. But as she wove, she felt something else, a gentle tug, as if the stars themselves were whispering secrets, calling her name. That night, after her father had gone to rest, Alara lay awake listening to the wind. She thought she could hear the stars speaking through it, telling her of places far beyond the valley, of dreams waiting to be woven. And though she was just a girl, she knew in her heart that she was meant for something more than watching. She was meant to carry on the loom a song. As dawn came, the first rays of sunlight touched the mountains, golden light spilling into the valley. Alara rose quietly, tiptoeing to the workshop. The loom still glowed faintly, threads stretching into infinity. She placed her hands upon it once more, and with each gentle swish, she whispered words of kindness, dreams of peace, wishes for those who looked up at the night sky. And somewhere above, the constellations shifted, listening. Far away, a sailor lost at sea looked to the heavens and saw a new star shining brighter than all the rest, guiding him safely back to shore. A child who cried for comfort looked out her window and felt peace, as though the stars themselves had come to keep her company. And an old woman, weary and alone, gazed upward and smiled, for in the patterns of the stars, she saw her own story written there. Alara had become, without even knowing it, the quiet guardian of dreams. The valley would soon learn of her gift, but for now, she wove in silence, her heart steady, her soul aligned with the hum of the loom. The night had found a new keeper. And so, as the stars began to fade in the light of dawn, Alara curled beneath her quilt, listening to the last whispers of starlight drifting through her window. Her father's voice lingered in her memory. "The stars grow restless. Would you like to learn their song?" With a soft smile, she drifted into dreams, her breath even, her heart calm, as if she herself had become a star among many. And our story tonight has only just begun. Breathe in, deeply, and breathe out, slowly. Let your body grow lighter, as though each exhale carries away the weight of the day. You are floating now, carried gently by the night itself, safe and calm. Our story continues. In the days that followed, Ilara's weaving became the valley's quiet secret. Each night, while the world slept, she stole into the workshop, the glow of the loom lighting her way. Her fingers grew more certain, her movements more fluid, as if the stars themselves guided her. She wove shapes she had seen in dreams, a silver deer bounding across the heavens, a river of light that wound through constellations, and tiny sparks that shimmered like fireflies on a summer's night. The villagers, though they never knew the hand behind it, began to feel a change. They said the stars seemed closer somehow, warmer, more alive. Children spoke of dreams where they floated among the constellations, while elders claimed the skies whispered to them as they prayed. Ilara, though young, felt the weight of it. The loom was not simply a tool, it was alive, an ancient guardian of balance, and now it seemed it had chosen her. One night, as she worked, Ilara noticed something strange. A single thread, darker than the rest, lay across the loom. It pulsed faintly, like a shadow stretched thin. Curious, she brushed it with her finger, and a chill ran through her. The loom trembled softly, and for the first time, she felt resistance in its hum. Her father entered quietly, his lantern casting golden light over the glowing threads. His face was gentle, but his eyes seemed heavy with memory. "You have seen the shadow thread," he said. Ilara nodded. "The loom weaves both light and shadow," he explained, lowering himself beside her. "For the sky is not only stars, but also darkness between them. Without shadow, light cannot shine. But beware, my daughter. If shadow grows too strong, it may unravel the heavens." She looked at him with wide eyes. "Then what should I do?" Her father smiled faintly. "Balance. That is the weaver's duty. To guide the thread, not to fear it. Remember, even darkness has its place." Ilara nodded slowly, though the unease lingered in her heart. That night, she wove carefully, letting the shadow thread intertwine with light, forming constellations with depth and harmony. She wove a sky not just bright, but whole. The days turned into weeks. The villagers continued to marvel at the heavens, never knowing that the hand behind it belonged to a child. But Ilara began to notice something else. The stars whispered louder now, calling her not only to weave, but to listen. On a crisp winter night, when the snow lay thick and the world gleamed silver, Ilara slipped outside after her work at the loom. She tilted her face upward, eyes tracing the constellations she herself had spun. And then she heard it. Not just a whisper, but a song. Soft and endless, like a choir of voices woven together. It seemed to drift from star to star, carrying stories older than the valley, older than the mountains, perhaps as old as time itself. "Ilara," the voices seemed to sigh. "Ilara, child of the loom." Her breath caught. The stars were speaking her name. "Why do you call me?" she whispered into the night, and the stars answered, not in words, but in images. She saw a vision of distant lands, deserts glowing beneath moons, seas where starlight shimmered like silver oil, towers of crystal reaching into the night sky. She saw people far away, lost and searching, their eyes raised toward the heavens, hoping for guidance. And in their gazes, she felt their longing. They were waiting for her weaving. "Ilara," the stars sang once more. "Your loom is not for one valley. It is for all who dream beneath the sky." Her heart ached with both wonder and fear. Could she truly carry such a weight? She was only a girl. Yet, as she looked upward, the stars seemed to pulse with warmth, as though they believed in her more than she believed in herself. She returned to the cottage, her mind alight with visions. The loom awaited, glowing faintly, patient as always. She sat before it, hands trembling, and whispered, "If you wish it, I will weave for them too." The threads quivered in reply, humming like a soft lullaby. That night, Ilara wove not just for her valley, but for the world. She stitched bright patterns that guided sailors across vast oceans. She spun silver rivers that calmed wanderers in distant deserts. She formed stars that comforted children who had never known her name, but who felt her kindness in the skies above. Unseen by all, her gift stretched farther and farther, like ripples in a pond. And for the first time, Ilara felt not just the joy of weaving, but the truth of it. She was part of something larger than herself. The loom sang softly under her touch. And when at last she rested, her father stood in the doorway, watching with quiet pride. "You are no longer only my daughter," he whispered. "You are the daughter of the stars." Ilara's eyes fluttered with sleep. She curled upon her chair, the glow of the loom bathing her in silver light. And as dreams swept her away, she smiled, knowing she had begun her true journey. Outside, the sky shone with new constellations, patterns that whispered of hope, courage, and peace. And though none in the valley could name the weaver, they all felt her touch, gentle as a lullaby. The Star Weaver's daughter had become the world's quiet guardian of dreams. And so the night, stitched with threads of light and shadow, cradled the earth in calm. Take a deep, gentle breath in, and let it fall away like soft snow melting on warm earth. The world around you is hushed, calm, protective. You are safe here. Our story continues. As the nights passed, Ilara's gift grew stronger. She began to weave with both hands moving in unison, the threads flowing almost of their own accord. The loom hummed like a great heartbeat, steady and reassuring, as if the night itself approved of her touch. But with every new pattern she created, Ilara felt the shadow thread linger more often. It was always there, lying quietly among the brighter strands, waiting for her to decide how it should be woven. Sometimes it unnerved her, but she remembered her father's words. Balance. One evening, as a storm brewed over the mountains, the shadow thread pulsed brighter than ever before. The winds rattled the shutters, the candle flames quivered, and the loom's hum deepened, resonant and low. Ilara hesitated. What if the shadows were growing too strong? What if she lost control? Her father came to her side, laying a gentle hand upon her shoulder. His eyes were solemn but steady. "You fear the darkness," he said softly. "But darkness is not always an enemy. Without it, the stars would not be seen. Do not banish it. Weave it, guide it, and it will serve its purpose." Ilara breathed deeply, calming her racing heart. Slowly, carefully, she worked the shadow thread into her pattern. It became a deep curve of night sky, cradling the brighter stars like jewels upon velvet. The storm raged outside, but within the workshop, the loom glowed steady and strong. When she finished, the sky outside cleared as if the storm had never been. And in its place, a constellation shone brighter than any before, a pattern of a guardian's shield gleaming above the valley. The villagers, seeing it, whispered in awe. "A sign," they said. "The heavens are protecting us." Ilara's heart filled with warmth. She understood now. Shadows gave shape to light. Together, they told the stories of the sky. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Her secret became the valley's blessing. Crops thrived, travelers found their way by new constellations, and the people rested easier beneath the stars. Though they never knew the weaver, they felt her presence as surely as the wind in the trees. But one night, a strange thing happened. As Ilara sat at her loom, weaving quietly, the threads trembled. The loom's song changed, softening into something unfamiliar, urgent, almost pleading. Then, without warning, a new thread appeared. Unlike light or shadow, this one shimmered in colors that shifted like oil on water. Blues, greens, purples, hues she had never seen before. It thrummed with energy, alive in a way that startled her. "What is this?" she whispered. Her father, who stood nearby, looked at it with awe. "The thread of dreams," he murmured. "Rarely does it appear. It is not of the stars, nor of the shadows, but of the hearts of those who sleep beneath them. This is the gift of the dreamers." Ilara touched it, and a rush of visions filled her mind. She saw children dreaming of running through endless fields of flowers. She saw travelers dreaming of home fires and warm embraces. She saw elders dreaming of their youth, reliving days long gone. The thread shimmered with every dream of every soul beneath the heavens. Ilara's breath trembled. "How can I weave this? It is too vast, too wild. Her father smiled gently. Not alone. Listen to it. Let it guide you. She closed her eyes, hands resting upon the thread. She felt its pulse, not chaotic, but rhythmic, like 1,000 heartbeats sinking into one. Slowly, she began to weave, and the loom sang unlike ever before. Out of the threads of light, shadow, and dreams, she spun a tapestry across the heavens. Stars wove into patterns that reflected the secret wishes of those below. A mother's hope, a child's laughter, a wanderer's longing. And as she wove, the dreams themselves became part of the constellations. That night, when the villagers looked upward, they gasped. For each person, the sky appeared different. A child saw a starry horse galloping across the heavens. A farmer saw fields of grain glittering in silver light. A lonely widow saw the shape of her late husband's smile twinkling among the stars. Every dreamer found comfort, as if the sky itself had listened to their hearts. Alara, exhausted, leaned against the loom. Her father's hand rested gently on her hair. "You have done more than weave the stars tonight," he whispered. "You have given people hope in their sleep. You have made the sky a mirror of their dreams." The loom glowed softly, almost tenderly, as if proud of her. That night, Ilara slept soundly, lulled by the hum of the loom and the quiet joy of knowing she had touched the lives of so many. Her dreams were gentle, filled with silver rivers and soft constellations, and she awoke with the certainty that her journey had only just begun. For the Starweaver's daughter was no longer weaving only for her valley, nor even for the world's wanderers. She was weaving for the hearts of all who dreamed beneath the endless night sky. And above the cottage, the stars burned brighter than ever before,